Techno Cop is an awful game that was released for a bunch of 1980s computer systems, and then later it was ported to the Sega Genesis in like 1990. It's a really weird game, mostly because the combat and just the entire gameplay is broken and awful and hard at the same time, but also it just doesn't make a lot of sense. Like, what makes him a techno cop? Is he technologically advanced? Is he a cyborg? Does he just like techno? Techno cop, nobody listens to techno. Let's go. I guess the techno part of Techno Cop is the fact that he has this giant wristwatch that literally takes up half of his arm. I'm not sure what this thing is, but it is absolutely cumbersome and it is unnecessary in every possible way. It's like exactly what stupid people in 1980 and 90 thought the future would be like. They couldn't think ahead to the fact that technology would be smaller and more convenient. They're like, no, things are going to be huge. There's going to be a giant fucking wristwatch that takes up half of your body. That will also be like a clock radio and a microwave. The thing really is completely useless. I mean, all it does is it has a picture of the guy you're supposed to catch, dead or alive, and then a timer. Like, the thing knows when the perpetrator will escape somehow. It's like a precog. This gigantic watch sees into the future and knows exactly when the criminal will be out of the building. It makes absolutely no sense. You can also switch from the gun to the net. The net is just like this thing you shoot that ties perpetrators up, or you can just use the gun and kill everyone. That's another thing. This game is ridiculously gory, like insanely gory, the Mortal Kombat of the 80s and early 90s. But the thing is, all the gore looks exactly the same. Like, all the enemies are identical in every building you go into, and they all die in the exact same way. You just leave them in like a pile of gore, an identical pile of gore for every enemy. And the weirdest thing about like the goriness of this game is you can actually kill children. Like, every level starts off with like this 12-year-old boy that you can straight up murder, just like all the thugs and punks trying to kill you. And he's a bad guy. He's a bad little boy. But he's not trying to kill you. Like, all he does is hit you in the knee if you let him live. So it's like, kill a child or suffer a black and blue on your leg. Decisions. And just like every awful game, pretty much every awful game for the Sega Genesis, it has giant rats. Of course it has giant rats, and following the style of other awful Sega Genesis games, it is really hard to kill these rats. In fact, I don't even know how to do it. You can't kneel low enough to shoot the rats. So I guess really all you can do is jump over rats. You can only kill like humans, but rats attacking you are literally the most indestructible, unstoppable enemies in the game. You can kill everyone except rats. In the future, police officers have a license to kill, but you are absolutely unable to murder a rat. Like, you could kill 1,000 people, but if you kill one rat, they're gonna take away your badge and gun. Don't you give me that cold techno look, Techno Cop. In this department, we do things by the book. The mayor's up my ass about that sewer rat you shot. Give me your badge and gun. The logic in this game really is insane. Forget about the fact that a police officer is allowed to murder children. let's look at the driving portions of this game. The driving portions are kind of like GTA in a way, where you are basically trying to get to the next criminal you have to catch. You walk into a building and you have a limited amount of time to catch a criminal, but every single criminal in this game has like an army of henchmen you have to get through. And if you don't get to him in time, you just lose that level and you move on to the next level. But let's get to the driving portion, getting from point A to point B, from one criminal to another. In the future, everyone drives Lamborghinis apparently, even police officers, everyone. In the future, everyone lives near the Appalachian Mountains apparently as well. So this is what the future looks like. No buildings whatsoever, just a bunch of mountains and then trees. And then you stop in the middle of a field with no buildings and you walk into like a slumlord building. I don't know how it works. But again, back to the driving portion. This is possibly the dumbest part of the game. See, in the future, you don't have police sirens to get other cars out of the way. You've all been there. You're driving along, and then like a police car turns its sirens on, and you move to the left or right to let the policeman through. In the future, they changed that aspect because I guess police sirens are a little too loud. What you do now is you destroy every car that's ahead of you. You have a mountain Gatling gun that literally explodes all cars that are in front of you. You have the ability, in fact, you are required by law as a police officer, a protector of the peace, to explode everyone in front of you. You are not a techno cop. You are a techno murderous rampaging maniac. You are the worst criminal in this game. You kill innocent people and children, and you can never make it in time to catch the bad guy because you never have enough time in the level. This game is absolute and utter trash. I mean, absolute and utter trash. Just the logical parts of it. All I've talked about in this video so far is just how illogical and insane the concepts of the game are. But as you can see by the gameplay is not very stellar as well. It's not broken. I wouldn't say it's broken. It's just, you can't shoot rats, so you can only shoot things that are at least at like belt level. And all the enemies are exactly the same. They all have the same exact attacks. And it pretty much comes down to shooting an enemy and the enemy shooting you. The only way you can avoid enemy attacks is like jumping over them. But you can't jump over every single enemy that attacks you. So in every level, you're pretty much guaranteed to die, or pass out at least once. And you only have so many lives in this game. Like if you pass out like 3 or 4 times, it's game over. So this game is like impossible to pass. I have no idea how to pass it. It's like you will be hit in this game. You're a pretty stiff character, and there's a lot of enemies. You're going to get hit, and when you get hit a couple of times, you die, and when you die or get knocked out a couple of times, it's game over. It's virtually impossible to get past like the 3rd or 4th level. You have to be like, I don't know, you have to find some kind of cheat or abuse some kind of broken game mechanic that I wasn't able to find. This game is just awful. It's not like the worst Genesis game I've ever made. In fact, I kind of honestly, it's one of those awful games that I really like because the concepts are so laughably illogical and stupid. I find it funny. I like this game because it's so stupid, it's funny. The fact that police officers just get to explode cars instead of turning on their sirens and having all the cars move out of the way. The fact that you can kill children. The fact that you never have enough time to get to the bad guy. Just pretty much everything. Like, I literally talked about every aspect of this game, and every single aspect of this game is stupid. Except for the fact that you are a techno cop that really loves techno and really loves wearing members only jackets from the 80s. For some reason, the standard police officer uniform of the future is to dress like a 1980s high school movie villain. Put him in the techno net, Johnny. Thanks for watching. Goodbye, my friends.